Hi, my name is Peter Terhune. I'm the Director of Strategic Solutions here with Conga, and I'm going to talk today about streamlining document generation and e-signature for Salesforce, specifically talking about Conga Composer and the integration with Adobe EchoSign and their solution called EchoSign for Salesforce. Quickly, I'm going to provide an overview of why an organization might want to integrate Conga Composer with an e-signature solution such as Adobe EchoSign. First and foremost, it allows organizations to close business faster. No more are the days of scanning, attaching to an email, sending, printing, signing, scan again, fax back, or email back to an intended recipient. With Conga Composer, organizations are enabled to quickly generate documents with a click of a button in Salesforce.com. Upon that document generation, we can deliver that document into the EchoSign environment, which will then pass that document to the intended recipients for e-signature. This will help you close business faster, as I've briefly discussed, because now everything is handled entirely in the cloud. Eliminate errors. It prevents your users from having to copy and paste and take information from Salesforce and other disparate locations and hopefully use the right format and the right presentation and the right terms and conditions. Now you can always have a standardized solution with a single button click. Increase productivity, getting your solution signed and documents back into Salesforce in a very timely fashion. A quick overview of Conga Composer. Our application allows Salesforce organizations to generate customized documents, reports, and presentations in a variety of formats. Conga Composer allows you to gather data from any object in Salesforce, standard or custom, and drive that data into templates of your design. We support templates in Word, PowerPoint, Excel, HTML, email, and PDF forms. Once we've created those documents, we can help you to automate the delivery and distribution of those files. You can download directly to your local computer, save copies in Salesforce as well as other data storage solutions such as SpringCM or Google Drive, and HTML email. But really today what we're going to highlight and talk about is our integration with EchoSign, which allows you to then create a document with Composer and route to EchoSign for e-signature. And if you don't already know, Conga Composer has spent 7 years in the App Exchange Top 10 and currently hold over 400 5-star reviews. Alright, let's jump right into the demo. For today's solution, I'm going to be using Google Chrome and an opportunity record in Salesforce as our launchpad. Do keep in mind that we are not by any means limited to an opportunity, and this solution could be developed on any type of object, whether that's a standard account or contact, opportunities, or cases, but can also be launched and initiated from any custom objects that you might have inside your environment. So do keep that in mind. Once a user has completed all of the information on the opportunity and is ready to present this as a proposal to their client, you'll see here that we have all of the products and the information is captured here on the opportunity record. We can click Send Proposal to EchoSign. Now this is a custom button, so this could have any naming convention that you would like applied. Once we land here on the Conga Composer user interface, you'll see that we've selected a template. We've defined our primary contact from our opportunity contact roles. We're going to convert this document to a PDF, and we'd like to deliver this document via EchoSign. Before I go ahead and click Merge in EchoSign, I just want to click Preview. Make sure that my file looks accurate and I'm pulling in the appropriate information to present to my client. So we've created the document, merged all of the information from Salesforce, and rendered an output in a PDF file. We're capturing information and details from the contact, from the account, from the opportunity owner, as well as information from the products that are related to this opportunity. So you'll see that I have products from 3 different product families, such as hardware, installation, and services. And I'm able to subtotal and display those products in separate tables as needed. Additionally, here on page 2, You'll notice I don't have much merge information. However, if you look very, very closely here, I've applied signature fields. These are EchoSign signature fields that are ignored by Conga Composer during the merge process. However, once this is passed on to EchoSign, EchoSign will recognize these tags and these fields and apply signature and full name and title and date and various different information to these locations. Additionally, on page 3, I have just some terms and conditions, and maybe this is something that legal needs me to include. Very easily incorporated, and I've applied a small signature field as well down here at the bottom for my signer to initial. All right, this looks good. I'm going to go back to my merge process right here. I clicked preview, and we generated and saw that output right here. But now I'd like to go ahead and pass this document on to EchoSign. Same steps are happening. Composer is now gathering the data from the opportunity, merging it with our template, rendering a PDF, and delivering that document into the EchoSign environment. Now that we've landed on the EchoSign agreement record, you'll see that I've been already addressed this agreement to the appropriate recipients. So here's my primary contact. Here's my opportunity owner who I'd like to have countersign this agreement. We can define all of these different settings and behaviors that you see in the agreement record, such as the name, the message, signature type, and relationships to the various objects inside Salesforce. Additionally, I'd like to go ahead and remind my recipients that they need to sign this every week. And maybe I'd like this to be more frequent. I could change that every day. All of these settings can be defaulted with the EchoSign agreement template, and we'll show you that in just a minute. Finally, here in the attachments, you'll notice that Conga Composer has delivered that merged document. So this is that same file that we saw just a moment ago in the preview, but we've delivered this document directly into the EchoSign environment. So the user already previewed this, but this can definitely be previewed once again. And we can click Send for Signature. So now, taking all of the settings that we've seen here on this agreement, the Conga generated document, and all of the signature data, we've sent this off. So our first signer is Milton Wadhams. I just happen to have Milton's email open over here in Gmail. And you'll see I've sent out an email. So I, as the user, opportunity owner, sender, has delivered a document to Milton. And there's a note here. Click here to review an e-sign Conga agreement for Burlington Textiles. Milton clicks into this record. You'll see that we've already prompted and applied our signature tags here. So Milton needs to sign this. Needs to apply his title before this can be signed. And there's also a spot for initials here. And the document's now being signed. So now my recipient is done. We've completed the signing process as Milton. And now I can return to my agreement record in Salesforce and check update status. So now this document's been delivered via EchoSign, and we see that it's still going to be out for signature, but you'll see the agreement events as they're starting to take place. So it's been sent out for signature, it was created by Peter, sent to Milton, viewed by Milton, signed by Milton, and now sent on to Peter for countersigning. We are also starting to see some imaging and some thumbnails of our document directly inside Salesforce. And so we see Milton's signature fields and his information completed on the document. All right, so how did we get here? The steps are really very straightforward. For anybody who's ever created a Conga Composer button, we're going to go ahead and dive into this a little more in depth and talk about how the Conga Composer button on our page layout came to be and what properties we applied to this button. So now we're going to dive a little more into the underpinnings of how this solution came together. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Send Proposal button and how in the various Conga Composer parameters that we've enabled so that this solution came to be. Inside Salesforce Setup, I've gone Setup, Customize, Opportunities, Buttons, Links, and Actions, and opened up my button here for Send Proposal to EchoSign. You'll notice the first 4 lines should be very familiar. This is a standard Conga Composer button URL. Additionally, I've applied 3 parameters regarding our file. So I've defined my template ID, and OFN is my output file name. So this is the naming convention that Composer's applying, and default PDF. When I generate this document, I'm going to be using a Word template for this solution, but I'd like to render this output document as a PDF file. Additionally, I've applied 2 specific EchoSign parameters. First and foremost, ESVisible equals 1. This particular parameter enables EchoSign as an output method for Conga Composer. And additionally, I've applied ES Agreement Template ID. This agreement template captures all of the settings inside the EchoSign agreement that you'd like to be defined when delivering this document. So this is a very, very straightforward solution. Now, of course, Conga Composer has a whole battery of additional parameters that could be applied, but when working with EchoSign, it can be as simple as just these 2 additional lines for any solution. Let's take a quick look at what this agreement template is comprised of. You'll notice that one of the very first settings is what is the master object type? What type of object in Salesforce am I working with? So I've defined I'm going to be using an opportunity. Additional fields that I've populated for this purpose, my agreement name, the message, this is the body of the email that's sent to my signers, the signature type, in case you wanted to utilize fax signature, that could be populated here, or different languages. If you'd like to deliver this in French or German or any of the other supported languages in the EchoSign environment, this can be defined directly on the agreement template. Furthermore, I have to set the automatic reminder window. So I'd like this reminders to go out every week until it's been signed by my recipients. Hopefully your solutions won't take any more than a week to get signed. Most organizations are seeing signing happening in the same day. One of the other features of the EchoSign agreement template is that you can add recipients dynamically. Using this related list, you're able to define who the signers are from your opportunity and in what order they need to sign. So my first signer is my primary contact from the contact roles, and my second signer or countersigner is my opportunity owner. And you can simply add new recipients very easily, and it walks you through a very simple wizard to set up that process. Once I've defined all of my behaviors for my EchoSign agreement template, I simply copy the template ID and add that value to my button. So if I click Edit and populate that value right here, so now whenever I select this button, Send Proposal, EchoSign, Conga Composer is going to perform the merge based upon these parameters and these settings here. And when it delivers that document to EchoSign, it's going to then take EchoSign as the delivery method and capture all of the delivery and agreement settings based upon this record ID. So let's go through that really quickly. We've set the merge process for our button and all of the merge definitions. We've selected our template, we've defined contacts, PDF, and that ESVisible enables this action right here. So Conga Composer is performing the merge, generating the document, rendering a PDF, and now delivering that document to EchoSign, and populating this agreement record based upon all of those settings that were defined on that EchoSign agreement. Pretty simple. So let's go one step further. Many organizations don't necessarily want users to have the ability to change the recipients or preview the document that needs to be sent. So I've created another opportunity button or link called Send Proposal in Background. So this is going to send the proposal through Conga Composer, but skip the Conga Composer user interface. So now the user is going to be presented only with this minimized status bar and a preview of the document before it's sent for signature. So here's our preview. We can kind of scroll through. You see that similar output we had a moment ago. Page 2, page 3, and now click Continue. So we're going to move from the Conga Composer environment into EchoSign, and it's ready for delivery. Great. So now my users can make changes. They can change the recipients, change messages, things like that. Maybe even add additional attachments or upload further files. What if I don't want to even present those options? Well, we can even go one step further. We have the ability to completely bypass both Conga Composer and EchoSign and deliver this document automatically. So, similar minimized user interface that we saw a moment ago, where we're just going to see a status bar. But once this is completed, we're going to pass that document straight on to EchoSign, and it's now been delivered. However, we landed right back on the opportunity. So this has been sent entirely in the background. When I go down to my agreements here, you'll see that I've created this agreement record for Conga Agreement in direct mode. If we refresh this page, we'll see that that agreement is now considered out for signature. So these other processes, these links here for Send Proposal in Background, Send Proposal Direct, are only slightly different than our previous solution. So originally, we simply have all of the Composer instructions up here, and we have the ES visible in the ES agreement template. So in my Send Proposal Background solution, we have all of those same settings that we had previously for Conga Composer, as well as our ES visible and our ES agreement template. But we've added these two parameters down here for DS7 preview and DS7 equals 4. DS7 preview is giving us a little snapshot or a thumbnail of our generated document, and DS7 equals 4 is passing that directly on to EchoSign. Send Proposal Direct is nearly identical to what we saw earlier, where we have, again, all of the same Conga Composer settings and configuration, the same ES visible, the same ES agreement template, but we've added two additional parameters here. This ES SVBA is a background instruction for EchoSign. It says send this automatically exactly how it's configured. And DS7 equals 14 is a Conga Composer to EchoSign parameter that says send this document without stopping anywhere and go directly back to the opportunity once that document's been delivered for signature. Really, from a user perspective, the solution can be as simple as this. Just click once. We're performing the merge, generating a PDF, and it's being sent via EchoSign right now, and we're back on the opportunity record. You'll notice here in my agreements, we have this direct mode that's out for signature. So that concludes the demo portion of today's presentation. Hopefully that gave you some great insight on how Conga Composer and EchoSign for Salesforce can be integrated very, very easily. There's all kinds of resources on Conga which can be found at congasphere.com, as well as some data sheets and case studies that are found on congamerge.com that highlight the integration between our two solutions. You can always find assistance and technical support by dialing our support team, either based either here in the United States, EMEA, or APAC, and you can always email us support@congamerge.com and we'd be glad to assist. All right, I'd like to wrap up with a little bit of Q&A. And one of the questions that frequently is asked around our two solutions is, how do I get information back into Salesforce as part of the signing process? That's a great question. One of the things that frequently occurs with organizations that have deployed Conga Composer and EchoSign is that they'd like to capture information during the signing process and get that information back into Salesforce. It could be something as simple as like some comments or maybe a credit card number, but that functionality resides entirely as a component or a function of EchoSign for Salesforce and is not directly related to Conga Composer. As you saw, I had those text fields on my template, and you can create custom text fields that EchoSign will recognize and capture data. And there is some methodology utilizing their data mapping function to be able to pass that data captured during signature and make that available back in Salesforce. However, that is entirely a function of EchoSign, so I do need to defer to that organization for further support. Another frequent question is, how do our two solutions interact? Very simply, Conga Composer does all of the front end processing and handling of the document generation and simply hands the document into the EchoSign environment. There's very little back and forth between our two solutions. Conga Composer does all of the assembly and then delivers the document to EchoSign, and then EchoSign takes the document from there and processes the document for signature. All of the routing and handling of the signature process is exclusively a function of EchoSign and is not really any component of Conga Composer. So there very much is a linear relationship between our two tools. Composer does the document generation and creates the EchoSign agreement, but once you arrive at the EchoSign agreement, everything then from that step forward takes place inside the EchoSign environment. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, well, that wraps up today's call. Again, if you have any questions or any further follow-up, please don't hesitate to engage our team. We can always be reached support@congamerge.com. Thanks a lot for your time.